challenge. Hi. Today I'm going to be doing a couple of different things. I'm going to be doing a accent challenge, courtesy of Sign ASMR, who, if you haven't watched, go check him out. He's awesome. And I'm going to see after that if I can do anything that might sound a bit good. So, I have a list of questions over there on my computer. So, hopefully, this might be triggering, kind of trigger words. I can only hope. So, first question is, what is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? Now, I'm Irish, but I have an American family, so I'm gonna have a couple of different answers. I think, I could be wrong, I think what that is called when you throw toilet paper on a house is called TPing a house. I could be very wrong. What is the bug that, when you touch it, it curls into a ball? We don't have these in Ireland. At least, I've never seen one in 20 years. My entire life. I think they're called pill bugs. Pill bugs. But I could be very wrong. What is the bubbly carbonated drink called? Now, I think what this means is like Coca-Cola or Sprite or 7-Up. In Ireland, they're called fizzy drinks. What do you call gym shoes? I'm assuming these are like not proper formal dress shoes. I would call them sneakers, because they make you sneaky, real quiet. What do you say to dress a group of people? I would personally call a group of people y'all. How y'all doing? How are all y'all? But in Ireland, you'd call them lads. How are you, lads? Are you grand, lads? How you doing, lads? What's the crack, lads? Which is not C-R-A-C-K. That's not how that's spelled. It's spelled C-R-A-I-C. It's Irish. Gaeilge. And it translates roughly to news or anything interesting going on, anything happening, or fun. It's a positive thing. Is there anything fun going on here? Is there any crack? That's your Irish lesson for today. What do you call the kind of spider or spider-like creature that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? Now, the wording of this question is terrible. Really atrocious. I don't know who wrote that question. The question, I think, is referring to a creature we call daddy long legs, but I can't be sure. Next question is, what do you call your grandparents? Now, not to be too morbid or anything, but I've never met either of my grandfathers as they passed before I could. But my grandmother I would call Grandma, unless she's on my mother's side, in which case I used to call her God No. I used to call her God No, because I was a very talkative child. I'm still quite talkative. And she would babysit me, and I would be talking about dinosaurs, or science, or Mythbusters, or something like that. And she would hear me talking about it, and hear me rambling. And she'd look up into the sky, and she'd go, "Oh, God, no, not again." So I thought her name was God No. And it just stuck. I kept calling her God No. What do you call the weird contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? Again, a very weirdly worded question. I think they mean a basket. But if they mean the larger variety, that is a trolley. A shopping trolley. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? Again, the wording in this question is so weird to me. I would personally call this a sun shower. As in, it's still sunny out, but the rain is falling. A shower in the sun. Sun shower. What is the thing you change the TV channel with? Now, there's a lot of hot variety in this question, especially in Ireland. I would call it the remote, or the TV remote. I have heard people call it the clacker, the clicker, the buzzer, the remote, all manner of things, but I would call it the remote. Bonus questions. What do you call round bread rolls? And it lists rolls, or baps, or cobs, or etc. This is a question that is entirely founded on what sort of texture this bread roll has. A roll is a cylindrical, almost like a baguette, but smaller. A bap in Ireland is almost like a ciabatta, but with the consistency of a normal bread roll. So you'd have a floury bap. And I have never in my entire life heard a bread roll referred to as a cob. If you have ever heard a bread roll referred to as a cob, please tell me where you're from. I would like to know, because I have never in my entire life heard of a cob. What do you call your evening meal? Now, this is a question that I have thought about for a long time. Not even joking. I think whatever meal it is not defined by what time it's eaten at. It is entirely defined by how much food is in the meal. You can have a breakfast at midnight because it's a breakfast food. Because it's a small meal. It could be 7 o'clock in the morning, it could be midday, it could be midnight. A bowl of cereal is a breakfast food. A lunch would be like a couple of sandwiches. And that can be at any time as well. Dinner would be what I would call an evening meal. I normally have my dinner at about 5 or 6 p.m. However, there is a thing in Ireland. I don't know if there's other places that do this, but in Ireland, if you are having a meal in the evening time after your dinner, you are having tea or you are having supper. It depends on what you're eating. If you're having a cup of tea with a biscuit, you are having tea. If you are having sandwich, a bit of leftovers, bit of reheated leftovers, is going to be interesting because I'm Irish with an American twang in my voice. So it's not going to be consistent to one accent. You have aunt, as in my uncle and aunt. You have your roof. You're going along your route. You're going to wash your dishes from all of the oil on them. After that, you're going to the theater. Then you have iron. And then salmon. Which, if I ever do any more on Irish history, we have a myth specifically about a very, very interesting fish. A very interesting salmon, specifically. And if there's anyone Irish watching this, which I know there is, don't spoil it in the comments. I can make content out of it. Next is caramel. And then fire. And water. Sure. Data. Ruin. Crayon. New Orleans. Pecan. Both. Again. Probably. The spitting image. Alabama. Lawyer. A coupon, or coupon, depending. Mayonnaise. Syrup. Pajamas. Caught. Naturally. Aluminium. And envelope. Now, some bonus ones as well, which consist of literally toothpaste, bath, basil, oregano, garlic, duck, and murdered. Nailed. So, that is unfortunately the end of that list, but I would love to have a question for whoever wrote that list. I understand how difficult it is to write questions like that, but that spider question is barely readable. So, I'm going to try some finger flutters. You'll have to forgive me for the audio. There are dogs barking outside, and they have been barking for about 5 weeks, non-stop. So, if you enjoyed, subscribe or like the video so that you can see my next upload, whenever that will be. Hopefully in a week's time. But until then, thank you very much